Get out of my room, Dad.
Okay, sorry.
Anyways, are you sitting at home right now, watching YouTube videos, wondering what Suron to buy? You don't have the money, you're daydreaming, but you really need to know, which one's for me? What is the bike that defines Kyle? I'm not Kyle, but maybe you are. If you are Kyle, we have answers for you. Today we're gonna talk about all these bikes, what the use cases are for them, why are tall people riding little bikes like this, what does it all mean, what's the difference between these two that look exactly the same, and what are some of these bigger ones? What do they have to offer? If you got some of these questions, stay tuned. We're gonna answer them. We're gonna start at the most accessible bike that has shaped the industry, the Suron LightX. The Suron LightX is a marvel of technology and has really kind of laid the groundwork for a lot of E-Moto brands to come out after it. Surron has always been providing really good products, but this year they definitely stepped it up with a couple modifications on their previous setup. They definitely listened to the concerns of the customer and made improvements on the bike for the better. What's the same is the 60-volt battery, the frame, and all the core components of the bike itself. There are slight upgrades, including an 8-kilowatt motor, and 18 rear wheel, 19 front, dot 4 brakes, which is a huge improvement from the original, and this nice grippy seat. This can go roughly 75 kilometers an hour and up to 75 kilometers in distance with a charge time of only 4 hours. So who's this bike for? It's for anybody, really. This bike is a marvel of technology and super fun. Why is this so small? If it's for anybody, well, because it's fun. It originally is designed for a smaller rider or somebody who just kind of wants a bike they can whip around. So you see a lot of kids on these learning wheelies, learning different types of stunts on them because they also have 2 handbrakes. Now this is incredibly important because it gives you the ultimate control of the bike right at your fingertips, as opposed to the foot brake on your standard motorcycle, which is going to be a lot harder and less intuitive. They've improved a lot of the previous downfalls of the bike, including dot brakes and the 18-inch rear wheel, full kind of like moto wheel. But there are still things that you might find underperform if you are a more experienced rider looking for a bike that gives out more power and or more comfort. This is the Rerode R1. It's very similar to the LightB, and it comes from the same kind of family in this new ultralight E-Moto class. Except this one has a little more power under the hood. With a 72-volt battery and an 8-kilowatt motor, this thing is going to deliver a lot of torque. It has a top speed of 88 kilometers an hour and a range of up to 120. Now, a couple other things that are different on this bike other than the LightB and the tires and wheels. This comes with a previous iteration of the LightB setup with a 1919 wheel set. So the Rerode R1 is designed for closed course only, but we at Epic Cycles will let you decide what that means.
We at Epic Cycles do not condone street riding. All these bikes should be ridden on closed course only. What that means is totally up to you though. When this bike leaves the shop, you'll be responsible for the idea of closed course. So totally don't ride on the street. Shouldn't ride these bikes on the street. Once again, don't ride bikes on the street.
The Rerode R1 also comes with some improvements over the LightB, including a direct mount stem and a riser bar. It's going to put you in a nicer position and also deliver a little bit more security when it comes to mounting the bar to the bike. So who's this bike for? It's for anybody really. I mean, even a guy my size, or even a little grom trying to get advantage on the track by having a light and fast bike. I would suggest that the Rerode R1 is for a slightly more advanced rider. With the 72-volt power and such a light frame, it delivers a lot of torque. So this bike is better suited in the hands of a stable rider. The bike comes in a wide variety of colors, including black and white, with a little bit of red, and black and red with a little bit of white. This is the new XQi3. What do all those letters and numbers mean? It means that right there. It's 100% street legal. With turn signals, a DOT front headlight, and a license plate rear mount and light. You can ride this thing anywhere, no issues at all. 100% fully legal and registered. Has a 72 volt 34 amp hour battery, giving you a top speed of 75 kilometers an hour and a range of 90 kilometers an hour. You can cruise for a while without having to worry. This bad boy has KKE suspension and some nice dual sport tires, so you'll be riding in comfort. With a full seat that's nice and grippy, you'll have control of the bike. So who's this bike for? For anybody who wants to boot around town in silence, luxury, and class. This thing is aesthetically pleasing and comes in 4 different colors. There's black, yellow, purple, and white. So you can roll in style however you want. This is the Suron StormB. It is a beast. This is the top of the line when it comes to power, range, everything you need. It is a full-size dirt bike, feeling like a 450 and performing with tons and tons of torque. There are 4 riding modes: Sport, Eco, Rain, and Turbo. The motor is a 22.5 kilowatt motor and it delivers 520 Newton meters of peak power. With a 104 volt 55 amp hour battery, it's going to deliver tons of torque to this 22.5 kilowatt motor. With a max range of 120 kilometers and top speed of 110 kilometers, this has you covered for a wide range of riding. This big battery's charge time is simply just 4 hours. This thing also has full moto brakes, front and back, giant master cylinders. It's going to deliver a lot of stopping power, exactly what you need for a bike this size. This is also going to come stock with a full moto wheel set in the 18 rear, 21 front. You are good to go for the track, the trails, anything you want on this bike. So who's this bike for? This bike is for anybody who wants to be on the track and trails a little bit quieter, a little bit stealthier, and have the immediate torque that you get from an electric bike without all the noise you get from a dirt bike. I'd recommend this for somebody who wants the performance of an electric bike but the stature of a full-size bike. So I've ridden the StormB and it is powerful, super kicky, super torquey. It delivers a lot of power off the bat. With multiple settings, you can control the throttle power, so you do have more functionality within the bike. This is the Arctic Leopard AT560. Now this is actually a trials bike. So, it looks like a normal dirt bike right now, but this plastic comes off and the frame dips, allowing you to be in the proper trial setup. So this bike is for anybody who wants to get into trials riding or who potentially just wants an electric dirt bike because it goes from A to B really quickly. Now this has a 72 volt 25 amp hour battery with a 10 kilowatt motor, which will give you 80 kilometers of range with a top speed of 90 kilometers an hour, resulting in 560 Newton meters of torque. To slow yourself down, you have 4 piston hydraulic disc brakes, a big old rear trials tire. This also has 2 newer counterparts in the Arctic Leopard EX800 Snow Leopard and the Arctic Leopard EX880. The Snow Leopard has a top range of 220 kilometers an hour and a top speed of 100 kilometers an hour with a 25 kilowatt motor, delivering 800 Newton meters of torque. It also has a 74 volt, 75 amp hour battery. The Cheetah comes in with a whopping range of 215 kilometers and a top speed of 125 kilometers an hour, giving you 51 horsepower out of a 37 kilowatt motor, resulting in 880 Newton meters of torque, coming from a massive 90 volt, 75 amp hour battery. This bike is for somebody who wants to go the distance on an e-bike. Somebody wants to ride all day without worrying about their battery, and somebody wants heavy performance out of their electric moto. This is a Suron UltraB. With this feeling and looking more like a 125, it's definitely for a bigger rider, more experienced rider, and somebody who has definitely ridden something with this before. With a 74 volt 55 amp hour battery and a 12 kilowatt motor, top speed of 90 kilometers an hour, and a range of 140, the bike is a weapon. It is super quick, And it's something that a lot of people who started on a Light B would upgrade to. What this offers is a step up on all the componentry that you would grow out of in a Light B. We have full-size moto hydraulic brakes that are going to deliver much more stopping power and not burn through your pads as much. The other key feature about this bike is my favorite. The charger is in the bike. For someone who likes to do more than a couple hours riding in a day, this makes it optimal for me to maybe ride somewhere, charge up, and maybe ride more. 2025 UltraB is going to come with a majority of new improvements on the bike, including a longer battery life and a more powerful motor at 21 kilowatts. It also includes an 18-inch rear wheel and a 19 front. I've been riding the UltraB for a bit now, and I really feel like it feels like the ultimate playful bike. This is something you can ride on the track, you can ride on a closed course as a stunt bike. This bike has been ridden by so many people right now in the bike life scene and also in the moto scene. With new add-ons to this bike every day. You can set it up with the Cirrus front suspension, you can set it up with the Cirrus rear suspension. Everybody's building aftermarket componentry for these things. It is a easy bike to find parts for and a really fun bike to play with. We hope you learned some stuff about what bikes we carry here at Epic Cycles and maybe what bike is right for you. Hopefully we'll see you soon. We can answer any more questions at the shop, online, or over the phone. Thanks guys. Have an epic day.